Hey guys, now that we're at the end of summer, it's time for a massive repot, and I'm not really looking forward to this, but it is well overdue. This is my Brassivola Little Stars. I repotted it with you guys 2 years ago. I up-potted it actually. For those of you that like to see the before and after, this is this orchid in April of 2023. I had it in orchiata bark and I up-potted it into this clay pot, and I wanted to keep it here until it outgrew this pot, and now we're at that point. So it was very high quality bark. I up-potted it using a New Zealand kiwi bark, and let's get back to it now. So it was already in a pot that it was outgrowing, one of those slotted pots with lots of roots through it, and now I don't even want to do it. But I have to. It's outgrowing the pot. I could, I suppose, put in a bigger pot, but it's already so big and I don't have that much room, so I'm going to divide it, and I will walk you through everything on this. So let me get some water in this so that I can hydrate it to saturate the clay so the roots can come off, and then we will see what we do with this repot. So let's get right to it. So I've been avoiding repotting this for so long, and the issue with avoiding things is that your problems get worse over time, right? So I wish I did this earlier. It's just overgrowing in this pot, and if I didn't take care of this orchid was going to decline. This orchid was going to have lots of issues, so don't avoid your repots. Don't avoid things in general, right? Like, the more you avoid something that needs to get done, the worse it is in the long run for you. So what I did was I soaked this pot and I saturated the clay with water. And those outside roots, they started coming off of the pot, thankfully. It wasn't too hard. I thought more of the roots were going to be lodged on the outside, and then I took a butter knife to take those roots off. Now, again, I think it's beneficial when you saturate the clay pot, because the clay it's very wicking, and if it's dry, it'll hold on to those roots way too long. So you do want to saturate it. Now, I had two issues here. I had outside roots that were stuck on the pot, and then the inside roots that were stuck on the inside of the pot. So getting this out was very, very tough. I knew this was going to be really challenging, and like I said, I was avoiding it because I knew it was going to be bad. But this orchid is so beautiful. It's so vigorous. I will admit this is not going to be the prettiest repot because it had a lot of tangled roots, and this orchid has beautiful, beautiful, highly fragrant flowers. This is what it looked like last year before it outgrew the pot. It's got these white flowers. They're nocturnal bloomers, highly, highly fragrant, like gardenia and lemon. And every year it was just getting better and better. Someone told me I should just put it into an even bigger pot, but I don't want to do that. This pot is already heavy, already quite big, and I'm running out of space. So I decided to divide it. I'll give away some divisions depending on how it goes. And I just wanted to keep it in the same pot, just maybe chop it down to half the size. I got this orchid from Cattleya Orchids in 2020, and it started out with about 5 or 6 growths, 5 or 6 pseudobulbs, and now look, it's maybe 10 times the size of when I first got it. This is a version that's highly, highly fragrant, and I've had other little stars that weren't as fragrant, so this is my favorite one. Sometimes the hybrids are a little different, where some will be more fragrant than others. They're not all the same. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to pull it out of the pot. I took the butter knife and I put it around the pot, but I was really struggling. Like, I was trying to take it out, but sometimes the roots adhere to that terracotta, like I mentioned. So the longer you soak it, the better off it is. And I wanted to reuse this pot. Clay is, clay pots are for some reason starting to get expensive. They used to be very cheap, and it's a little frustrating because I wanted to reuse it. But anyway, I kept trying to pull it out. I kept trying, and then I realized, all right, that's not going to work. So I took a towel and I took a meat cleaver and I just decided to break the pot. And that was the only way I was going to be able to get this orchid out of this pot without harming it. So You need to use a towel of some sort because if you start pounding on the pot, the little pieces can come back at you and hit you in the eye, and you don't want that. So make sure to take a towel and cover it up. But once I did this, it was a lot easier to get this orchid out of the pot. I slowly freed this up, and I had to basically take off all of the clay pieces by breaking them, unfortunately, but it was the only way I was able to get this orchid out of this pot. Bummer. Like I said, I wanted to use it again, and I went to Home Depot last year to buy a couple more clay pots, and I'm like, since when are clay pots like $10 a piece? Like, it's ridiculous. In the pandemic, I remember buying small clay pots for $1, and these were just like maybe $3-4, and now they're so expensive. But anyway, if you guys are sensitive to repots, you might want to end the video here because this one was very rough and I ended up losing a lot of roots. And because this is so vigorous, I was okay with it. I didn't want to spend too long on this, and I knew it was going to be challenging. I knew that it had roots that had grown through the previous pot, so this was kind of not the most gentle repot, I'll say. It was a professional repot, but it wasn't gentle. And the issue with this as well is that it had a lot of new growths, a lot of new roots, and it adhered to some of the old media, and it was kind of messy to get it done. And I unfortunately broke a lot of the new growths. You could see right there in the front, I lost one, and that's kind of normal with these Brassavola orchids. Now, when I saw an entry where I could make a division, I took a pair of scissors and I went ahead and cut them. You want to get at least maybe at minimum 3, more like 4 or 5 growths, as well as new growing roots to get a good viable division. Anything less than that and it's not going to do well, but you want to make sure you have some new roots there, and they generally will take off. This is very vigorous, as I mentioned, so despite me being so rough with it, I know it's going to do well, even though I ripped off a lot of the roots. And this is one of the only orchids I have in my collection that I grow purely in bark, because this one is very drought tolerant, and I used the orchiata bark just because I heard like, oh, this one, it can go a long time without water, so maybe I don't need to add moss. And it ended up working out nicely because I up-potted it completely, knowing that it had very high quality bark in it. So when I up-potted it, I knew that it wasn't going to degrade. So the original part of that pot has been there for 5 years. And the bark started breaking down a little bit, but it was still pretty good. It wasn't mushy or anything like that. Now, I knew I was going to have to cut this pot. There was no way around it. There were roots that grew through the bottom. It was a nightmare. And you want to know the crazy part about this repot? A lot of those roots were still alive. They were all viable. The color of those roots, they were like brown. And normally some of those brown roots are dead, but they all were firm. Not all, but like 85% of them were firm with substance and they were still alive. So unlike like a bifoliate Cattleya, which normally those Cattleyas, you bruise a root or you touch a root, you repot it kind of rough and the roots die off. This one I find is more hardy. And that's the case for Brassavola hybrids. Now, I highly encourage you to check out my Brassavola hybrid video if you want some orchids that are very vigorous, easy to grow. If you repot them, they're very forgiving. So check that video out if you want some ideas on some easy Cattleyas. If you don't have any Cattleyas in your collection, or if you only grow phals, this could be a good entry point for you to give it a try, because this is why I can be so rough with this one. So I'm just trying to cut the pot off, and I'm aware that I'm breaking some of these roots, and my goal is to get most of the plastic off. Cut off the old roots, and like I said, most of these roots were alive, aside from the ones that I started ripping off. But the goal here is to free the plastic and then get rid of the old media. So I finally got the plastic off, and now my goal is to get in there and get that old media off. And guys, it was so challenging. like I said, some of those new roots grew into the old media, so it adhered to the old stuff that I wanted to get off. And some of this bark has been in there for 5 years, so it's time to go. And it wasn't fully broken down. Maybe it was starting to a little bit, but thankfully, because it was high quality, it still had air pockets. It wasn't dust. If this were cheap pine bark, that would be like soil, and a lot of these roots would be dead already. Now, I just started ripping out where I thought there would be good divisions, and at some point I just thought, why don't I just try to pull it apart to see if I could get two big divisions. But the ones on the outside with new roots, I'm going to pot those up. I'm going to give them away. And I was just really struggling here, guys. Like, when you have new roots just attaching to old media, it becomes a problem. So I'm just trying to free it up, and I'm okay with some of these roots dying off, rather being ripped apart because of the vigor in this one. So here's where I wanted to divide it into two. I just wanted to get a feel for it because there were two major directions of growth. So I figured, let me divide it in two. I'll rip it apart naturally. I'll keep the bigger piece and I'll give the rest of them away. And then from there, I could free the roots as best as I can. So this is my idea, to like divide it in two to free it up a little bit better. And this is exactly how I divided it. So we're going to fast forward here as I try to free these roots as much as I can. I couldn't get all of it, but I got most of it. And I kept breaking off some of those new growths, unfortunately. That said, I did my best. And again, those roots were, for the most part, alive, and I did sacrifice a lot of them. So some of you won't really like this video, but you know, I can't spend 4 hours repotting something like this. This would take me a very long time to be very, very careful, and just knowing how vigorous it is, I'm okay with the sacrifice. So I did my best here. Okay, fast forwarding to where I potted it up, I got a new clay pot, and this is actually pine bark. This is it's not super cheap stuff. It is, I would say, middle of the road pine bark, but this is the bigger division that I have. Most of the roots were firm. Some of them I just left there. I was less careful with this one. And I just put it in the pot in the middle, and I'm going to surround it with more pine bark. And given the size of this, I think we can expect this to last in this pot for about 2 years. So I'm not going to touch it. I don't think it's worth using the orchids bark, just because we know how vigorous this is already. And this orchid is going to likely double in size by the time I need to repot it again. And it's probably going to be growing outside of the pot. So I'm just using bark again. I didn't use any moss. You can use moss, especially if you grow indoors. If you don't water that often, you can certainly use moss. Just for some reason, when I first started growing, I read that these are extremely drought tolerant. They can go a long time without water. It's true. And I just decided not to use bark. And like I said, it worked out great because I up-potted. And if I would have up-potted with moss in the mix, a lot of those roots would be dead because it would have gotten very acidic, and it wouldn't have gone great long term to use moss in something for 5 years without swapping it out. So I'm just putting this bark in here, pressing it down, making sure that there's good coverage. And then the thing with pine bark is that you normally have to soak it in order for it to retain moisture, and I didn't do that. And I don't have moss in here, so I'm going to be watering it very thoroughly, more often than normal, just so that it can get that saturation, because clay is very wicking. It dries very fast, so I'm going to stay on top of that for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So it's going to get more water than normal, no fertilizer, and then that bark will absorb. But if you end up soaking your pine bark, you don't have to do that. Now we'll speed this up from here, but I did break off some of those new growths. I felt sad about it, but it happens. And this is a good division. There's less new roots. There are some new roots, but I did break the growths. I think it will push out new growths. A lot of times that does happen with vigorous orchids. And then I got different pots. I ended up putting this one in a 5-inch pot. I'm going to give this away. I'll probably do a giveaway as I hit 10,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for the support. And what I ended up doing with this one is I put one of the divisions with new growths with this one just in case. So whoever gets this orchid will get one with a lot of new roots. So I combined them together, and I couldn't get all that bark off. As you could see, there were roots that attached to the old media, and I didn't want to break them, so I just kept it in there. And it's okay. Like, eventually those roots are going to die off at some point, and they'll be easier to get off. But when you have something very vigorous like that, you do tend to have problems when the roots stay alive. So you just leave them versus, like, you know, trying to rip every single root off. I did get these smaller divisions that I got on the edge of the pot. I just clipped them off, and I could have done that too. I could have kept it in the pot and just tried to clip smaller divisions, but that wasn't going to be sustainable in the long run. So I did the same thing here. I put these in 4-inch pots, put pine bark here, and yeah, this will go to somebody, and I hope they enjoy the fragrance on whoever gets that. And then this is the final division. Again, I just got different size pots, and this is going in a 4-inch pot. These are all new roots. This is going to grow really well. And this was about the size of this orchid, by the way, when I first got it 5 years ago. It was like this. It was like maybe 5, maybe 6 growths all together. So this is the kind of orchid that will double in size in you very quickly, triple, quadruple, quintuple. It just gets humongous. So this is what it looked like. Again, this wasn't my best repot. I know I butchered a lot of the roots, but it had to get done. This is one of the hardest ones. I wasn't looking forward to it, but I knew I had to do it before it started getting cool, before we head into fall. And this is what the divisions look like. Anyway, guys, as I'm heading closer to 10,000 subscribers, I wanted to thank you, and I will soon announce a giveaway of some divisions, some Hoyas, just to thank you for all the support. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.